Bottle Houses, The Creative World of Grandma Prisbrey by Melissa Eskridge Slaymaker, illustrated by Julie Pashkis. Bottle Houses. Being inside one of Grandma Prisbrey's houses was like being inside a rainbow, or a kaleidoscope, or a jewel. The walls sparkled in sunlight, and in lamplight they glowed. Some rooms were the colors of flame, others were shades of sky. Some were red as rubies, others were diamond clear. All shone like glass, because glass is what they were. Grandma Prisbrey lived in a bottle village. For a long time, Grandma Prisbrey didn't live anywhere in particular, and she didn't have a house. She was too busy to have one. She'd been traveling around in a trailer with her family. She liked to keep reminders of where she'd been, but there's not much room for reminders in a travel trailer. So she collected pencils. She had pencils from places she'd been and people she'd met. There were thousands of pencils, so many that she started making things with them. She made pencil flowers and fans, pencil people and patterns. The pencils became more interesting that way, and she wanted more room to display them. She also wanted more room to settle down when she wasn't traveling. Grandma Prisbrey had some land in California, but she didn't have enough money to build a house in a regular way. But Grandma Prisbrey wasn't a regular sort of person who did things in a regular sort of way. One day, when she was visiting her land in California, she decided to drive down the road to the garbage dump to see if she could find something to build a house with. "Everything under the sun shows up at the dump if you wait long enough," she said. "I found a photograph of the Queen of England, a statue of a saint, and a crystal chandelier. What some people throw away, I believe I could wear to church." At the dump, Grandma Prisbrey found bottles of every size and shape and color. There were clear bottles too, of course, but she liked the colorful ones best. Every day, Grandma Prisbrey drove her truck to the dump and hauled stuff home. "Lady," said the man who worked at the dump, "this place is going to make you famous someday." Before long, there wasn't a bottle made that Grandma Prisbrey didn't have, and she had enough of them to build a house. "A dairy inspector told me it's against the law to use milk bottles for anything but milk, so I quit using those," she said. "I've got plenty without 'em. The smallest bottle is a lady's ring. The biggest is a 3-gallon whiskey bottle, made just for decoration, I hope." She stacked bottles to make walls, and all she had to buy was cement to hold them together. She found everything else at the dump: furniture, stoves, refrigerators, dishes, clothes, batteries, lights, car parts, even dolls. Hundreds of dolls. She built a bottle house for her pencil collection and another one for her dolls. She built a bottle chapel and a bottle bird bath. She made a wishing well of blue bottles and a rumpus room of green ones. Just for fun, she built a round house. Everything in it was round. It had a round fireplace, a round bed, and a round dresser with a round mirror over it. "I do all the work myself," she said, "except for putting on roofs and doors. My sons do that." And when she wanted a change from building with bottles, she tried other things. For one of her sons, she built a house of shells, shells of all kinds, and countless polished rocks and rhinestones. Nearby she made a singing tree. It had more than 1,000 bottles hanging from it, and when the wind blew, the air resounded with the songs of tinkling glass chimes. Grandma Prisbrey decided a pyramid might look nice, so she built one of car headlights stacked 5 feet high, decorated with 150 gold lipstick cases and dozens of potted cactus. "The cactus reminds me of myself," she said. "It's independent, prickly, and asks nothing from anybody. And it blooms in all colors." She liked all things to be colorful, including cats. Her cat had one green eye and one yellow. There were 3 fluffy kittens, too, which Grandma Prisbrey dyed pink, green, and blue. "I use vegetable dye so it doesn't hurt them," she explained. "My grandchildren love it." Of course, folks began to wonder what was going on, and they started dropping by. Just a few came at first, then a lot. Grandma Prisbrey built a bottle cabana in the shade, where she served her guests homemade cookies and lemonade. With so many people walking around, sidewalks seemed like a good idea. Grandma Prisbrey paved pretty paths from place to place, using odds and ends of this and that, broken dishes and chipped tile, lost buttons and bottle caps, shells and rocks. By the time she was done, Grandma Prisbrey had a bottle village with fountains and a cactus garden. Visitors came from all over to see it. "They call me an artist," she said, "even though I can't draw a car that looks like one. But I guess there are different kinds of art." The mosaic sidewalk and the wall that surrounds Bottle Village. The headlight pyramid stands in front of the round house. A display from Grandma Prisbrey's pencil collection. Sunlight makes the colored bottles glow inside the round house. The wishing well and some of Grandma's cactus. Tressa, Grandma Prisbrey, was born in 1896. Began building her bottle village in 1956 and died in 1988. By 1966, Most of the construction was complete, including 22 sculptures and 13 one-room buildings she called houses. In 1996, Grandma Prisbre's Bottle Village was listed in the National Register of Historic Places. It is a City of Simi Valley and County of Ventura cultural landmark and a State of California historical landmark. Bottle Village suffered extensive damage in the 1994 earthquake, and the Preserve Bottle Village Committee is currently working to raise funds for its restoration. That's right, for its restoration. You can visit their website at http://ecomatic.home.mindspring.com/B. And the author dedicates this book for Emma, my colorful and visionary child, and for Chris, who showed me the value of things that last. The illustrator dedicates it for Gwen. And they offer many thanks to the Preserve Bottle Village Committee for their invaluable help, and to Rebecca Hoffberger, founder and director of the American Visionary Art Museum in Baltimore. And the summary says this is an introduction to the world of folk artist Grandma Prisbre. And among its subjects is refuse, that means trash, as art material. You truly can turn trash to treasure. The